Okay, so let's try part C together. Part C, I've got 2x minus y is less than 4. So I cannot do this until I've solved for y. It's kind of like with an equation, I have to get it into slope-intercept form. So what I'm going to do first is subtract 2x. That will leave me with negative y is less than 4 minus 2x. Okay, now having a negative y is kind of like having a negative 1y. So I need to divide everything by negative 1. Now, when I do that, if you remember back to when we first learned inequalities, when you multiply or divide by a negative number, this sign has to flip. So I'm going to have to flip this into a greater than, and then I can just continue. 4 divided by negative 1 is negative 4. Negative 2x over negative 1 is positive 2x. So we have to remember that we have a rule that says when we divide or multiply by a negative number, we flip the sign. Okay, so that's important because this sign that I flipped tells me what kind of line am I going to draw. Well, there's not a line, so I'm going to draw a dashed line. And it's now a greater than, which means I'm going to shade above. Okay, so go ahead and try to type this in, y equals. You're going to end up typing y equals negative 4 plus 2x in. Plot your points, draw a dashed line, and shade above. So go ahead and try that. You can pause the video if you need more time. And then I'm going to show you the graph. So if you need some more time, just go ahead and hit pause. But here is what the graph should look like. Okay, so my shading is above. I have a dashed line. I plotted my points from y equals negative 4 plus 2x. So there you go. So far we've practiced graphing and shading. Now we're going to go to where we're given a graph and we're going to write what it is. And this part's a little bit quicker. We're going to go ahead and skip 482. Go to page 483. And let's look at number 4. So this time it wants us to write an inequality for each graph. So much like graphing, writing an equation of a line, I need to know my m and I need to know my b, because it's kind of like y equals mx plus b. The only thing is instead of putting in equals, I'm going to put in inequality. Well, m's my slope, b is my y-intercept, but I also want to pay attention to what type of line, so I always write I drew a dashed line and where my shading is. So if I want to find which way my shading is, again, pick a point and which way did we go? We went below. So if it's a dashed line and my shading is below, that means I need to use a less than sign. So my final answer should say y is less than, and then I just plug in m and b. So this part isn't new, it's just the inequality sign. But once you know what everything means, it's pretty simple to find out. So let's find our b. Our y-intercept is 2. From there I can find my slope. I just have to find another good point. Here's a corner point, and then I have to rise and run. So I went from 2 to 6, so I went up 4. And 0 to 1, I went right 1, so that's still going to be positive. So my slope is 4 over 1, which is 4. Makes sense, my line is increasing. So my final answer, y is less than 4x plus 2. Okay, so this sign comes from the type of line that I drew through. It was dashed, so that's why I didn't put a line there. The shading was below, so that's why I made it a less than. Once you get this, you're done. So we're going to go ahead and flip to the next page, and we're going to try it again. All right, first, what kind of line do we have? A solid line. Where's the shading? Well, pick a point. Where did we go? We went up. So my shading is above. which means I should use a greater than or equal to sign. The greater than is because of the above, the equal to is because of the solid. So now all we have to find is m and b. B is at -3. M, I'm going to find another good point. Up 1, right 2. So my answer will be y is greater than or equal to 1/2 x minus 3. So this part goes a little bit quicker than the other part, than graphing. But it's not as fun because you don't get to shade on your own. All right, let's try one more and then you're going to get to your homework. So this one is a dashed line. My shading is below. So that means that I'm going to use a less than with no line underneath, just a less than. That takes care of the dash and the below. Find my M, find my B. Okay, so you can check your answer up here with mine. So after this, you should work on your homework. Your homework is pretty long, so I want you to get some time to work on that in class. You can use your notes to help you. Remember, we are extending the due date for that EOC review packet, so you have 1 or 2 more days actually to get that done. And I've already stressed to you how important that is. So it will be due at the beginning of next time. If you need any help on that, I'll be back and you can come into tutorials Thursday or Friday morning. Retest will be Thursday or Friday in class, depending on if you're A day or B day. So make sure that you have one of those retest reviews. It's some color, I don't know what color it is yet. And if you want to come work on that or go over your test again, come see me Thursday or Friday morning. So be good for Miss Skaggs. Make sure you're working hard. And if you have any questions over this, we can go over it when I get back. Missed you guys, and be good.